So, when you hear, because I keep saying Palestine, it's Palestinian, the land of where Israel is it Jewish land?
Okay, it's a very, very, I think, irrelevant question. Is it Jewish land or not? If you want to go by the Quran, which is my religion, my holy book, the Quran is very clear. It says, children of Israel, conquer the land that God has written for you. As in Arabic, it means given to you. So from a Quranic point of view, the land belongs to them because God granted it to them.
Land belongs to the Jews?
Yes, from the Quran's point of view.
Okay.
So there's a whole saga in the Quran saga about how they conquered the infidels, because they called the Canaanites as infidels, which according to all Abrahamic religions they were idol worshippers, and how God empowered them into conquering and so on. So there's a lot of the most mentioned name in the Quran is Prophet Moses. That said, there's bigger than dogma.
What's that mean?
Dogma in the sense that the Native Americans in the United States, the land belongs to them. And I'm not saying Israelis did that, what if those Native Americans today go to Manhattan, New York, and they say, this is Native American Indian land, get out. It's not going to work. So there's also the counter argument. Let's say the Jews had, quote unquote, nothing to do with Palestine, with the Holy Land. Let's say they had zero connection. In this country, we meet young men whose parents arrived in this country illegally 18 years ago, 15 years ago. And they ripped up the passport into pieces, claimed to be from Palestine or from Timbuktu or anywhere else, and they claim asylum and they become Britons. The daughter is born here. Okay, and after that, the parents get exposed for lying on their application and the passports are taken away. The boy, the child is not stripped of their citizenship because they obtained it legally. They didn't do anything wrong. So in that sense, if we are, and I'm talking to my fellow Arabs and they follow me and they watch me, and I'm going to translate some of this too, for them, caption it to read it. So if the Jews had zero connection to that land, they arrived, they purchased land, they prospered, they opened hospitals in the 20s, they brought a lot of modernization with them to Palestine. I remember that. And also they've always been there. That said, is it correct to say to someone who's been there for 8 generations that this is not your country, this is Muslim land and you have to leave? It doesn't make any sense. I think they deserve something. I think they are legitimate as any other country is. We don't agree with everything Israel does, but again, do you agree with everything Britain does?
Yeah, I agree with anything
else. Do you agree with everything the Palestinian Authority does? Do Americans agree with everything America does? Jews, I think, being awfully demonized. And I think a lot of those championing the Palestinian cause a lot of them are genuine people who are hurting because of what they see happening in Gaza. Children getting killed and so on, regardless of why, how. They see a photo of a child dead and it's painful, even for everyone. You wouldn't approve of that. On the other hand, people championing this thing are one or two. The champions. Anti-Semites or Islamic radicals. I've seen them. I've known them. I've seen faces of them. I went to some of them protests and I can tell one when I see one. And there's also names involved. And there's also connections with bigger names in the United States like Linda Sarsour and bigger donors than you and I.
Yeah.
So is it a parade for Palestine? Possible. People who join with those flags probably want to save and help Palestine. But those organizing it, I'm just curious. The largest rump of Palestinians is in Jordan. Jordan has 10.5 million Palestinians. So that's a good, 50-something% of all Palestinians in the world. Jordania is a Palestinian heritage in Jordan. They live under full apartheid regime like South Africa. No one speaks about it. How come there are no protests? How come there hasn't been a single protest for the Palestinian rights, civil rights in Jordan, in Lebanon, in Syria? In Syria, we all saw the Tadamun massacre. You probably never heard about it, but it was in the news, where the Assad's forces rounded up Palestinians in the Yarmouk refugee camp. A full video, half an hour of them shooting them and throwing them into a ditch. Where's the rage? Where's the protest? So in my opinion, it's more about hating the Jews.